what I was saying was that in case because I started recording, maybe somebody sometimes your connection will I don't know, there'll be something which will happen. You probably will have to rejoin the call. Okay. Now you can see my screen. So what I was talking about was that this is the organization, and most of you, I've invited you to join the organization. Also, these are some of the private repos which are there. So when I make you join the repository, you should be able to see this. And So there are two, three things that we need to basically concentrate on. One is that the branch master is supposed to be a production branch, so we never push any code to the branch master. We always push our code in our own repository. So if you look at this, Akshat has created a repository which is named as dev_Akshat, and then his surname Akshat Anand. Similarly, Aviroop, Ayush, and everyone, myself also, Shivam, and this is the branch, the develop branch that we basically will push our code into. So there is a very basic, README file that I've created. I did this yesterday only, and this is the process that we'll end up following. Now, let me take. Divyansh is here. I think he dropped off the call.
No, sir,
Sorry, you're here. Divyansh, is it possible for you to maybe take a clone right now, and we'll see as to how that looks at your end, and then everybody can understand.
okay, I'll have to switch to laptop. Wait a second.
You're on mobile right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'll keep on talking through the stuff. So once you're ready, you let me know. So that they'll and what do you use? You use a Windows system?
No, Ubuntu.
So you're also Ubuntu. So who all have a Windows system? Akash, you have a Windows. Devesh, Windows. Himanshu, can you just let me know in the chat? Okay, Akash has. Okay, Himanshu, Ubuntu. Okay, perfect. So Devesh and Akash, for the two of you, there might be something slightly different because I just till the Git installation part and all that, it might be slightly different. Otherwise, this is what it is. So if you look at this, you create a empty directory or on your system and just call it DC to keep things very simple. Keep it at the uh, maybe in your D drive or wherever at the highest level possible, and just name it DC. So things are simple for us. And you go ahead and do a git init. So git init is basically you'll initiate a empty git repo there. It'll let you know that some empty repo got initiated and stuff like that. Also, I can probably 1 second. So today only we were doing something. Yeah. Some screenshots were there, but then I don't know if they're. Earlier, I did a session with somebody, but that's okay. So the first thing is git init. You just do the git init, and the next you need to do a git clone. So this git clone, you just copy this entire thing, and I'll just put it in the chat for you, so that when you're doing this, you are able to just copy the thing. Okay, and then it will basically get the Git repository from the remote, which is basically just from GitHub. It will get it down onto your local system, and you just need to change directly to that folder which is there. So that's the highest level folder or directory which is there, which is the project folder. Once you've done that, this is important. You get to do this git branch A. So basically what will happen is, once you do the git branch A, uh, it will, who's this who's joining the meeting now? Okay. Yeah, that is probably Divyansh who joined with
Yes,
the.
sir. So I'm ready. I can present the thing now.
Okay. Abhishek Dubey. Uh, I allowed him to join. What happened? I think Himanshu. Yeah. So in case, yeah, he's joined. He's there. Perfect. Hi, Abhishek. You've not. Yeah, Karthikeya is also joined. Karthikeya and Abhishek, you guys have not missed much. I've just started off with this thing, and I'll also share this recording with you, so you need not worry too much. Uh, Devyansh, I'll let you know. Just give me a few minutes that we can start off. Yeah. So now, when you do this Git branch A, so I've already shared a link of, we just quickly created some blog post. Uh, yeah, this is the one. So you've done your git clone, you'll see something similar to this. So you'll end up seeing something similar to this. Uh, After your git clone, then you cd into that folder, and then you check the git status. So it should show that you're on branch master. So whether you do a git status or you do a git branch A at this particular point in time, it will show you, if you're on master, it will show you asterisk in front of master. Okay, but we don't have to be in master. What we need to do is we need to change from master to the develop branch, and this is how you'll do it. So git checkout develop is what you'll have to do as the next step. And once you've done that, once you've done that, uh, and you again run this just to confirm git branch A, it will show you that you're on develop, and master would be probably the second branch that you'll get to see. Right. So that is one thing. The After that, what you need to do is, then again, you just follow the steps here. So you see develop over there, and then you're, like I say over here, when you're 100% sure that you're on the branch develop, there's asterisks in front of that. Uh, you create your own branch. So this is how you create your own branch. You say git checkout space hyphen B, and then it is dev. Let's say it is for let's say it's for Lavish Seni. Okay. So then Lavish says dev underscore Lavish underscore his surname, and that's about it. So your branch gets created, and then again check whether you've moved on to that branch. So perfect. It shows you this as your name branch will be there. And once you're on your branch, then you start doing whatever that you need to do in that repository. And when I say whatever it is that you need to do, there will be there will be these issues that we will create over here. So what this issue is, it's not necessarily an issue. It's just a way of sharing tasks with everybody in the team. So right now, let's look at something simple. So this Python method. Okay. So how many are there which are Python methods? So these are the kind of tasks that most of you would be doing to begin with. And I think I've kind of verbally discussed this with all of you. You can also have a look here and understand what exactly is happening. So just click on one of these. So similar to the talent function, that is, create a Python method to match patterns using regular expressions. So what exactly is the talent function, and what exactly are we talking about over here? So if you go to this help page of talent, you will get to see the so to say the front end functionality that you need to work upon. So if you want to identify whether a column matches a pattern you define with or without a regular expression, you can use a matches pattern function. So these guys provide a matches pattern function. So that function we need to end up coding in our Python method. So whenever pattern of this sort, a regex pattern of this sort is passed, and then we need to check whether it's running on a column or whether it's running on a particular record or whatever. And within that record or within that column, does this regex match with a string or a substring which is there? So similar to this, there'll be other ones, and all of them will have some kind of so in a Python method within a pandas data frame, round off the values using seal and floor mode. So the seal and floor mode comes built in, and let me just show you. I think it is a pandas this thing. Fine. So it is as simple as that. So wherever you see that, yeah. So this is floor, or seal. Yeah. So this is as simple as so. This is just an introductory method that I would have given to somebody because this is given to who? This is given to Ayush. Ayush has never coded anything in Python, is what he's told me. He's just starting to learn Python right now. So that's a very simple thing that's just been given to him, just so that he understands the flow of things and what needs to be done. So let's say he's coded this method. So once he's coded this method, he needs to code this method in a Jupyter notebook. So I hope everybody. I don't hope, but I'm pretty much sure everybody knows what Jupyter notebooks are, right? Any questions till now? Anything that you've not understood, or anything you want to ask me? Okay. So in case there are no questions, I'll continue. So just put this very simple Python method in a Jupyter notebook, and share that Jupyter notebook with me on WhatsApp. Don't put it on Slack. Don't put it anywhere else. Don't push it on GitHub. Just share it with me on WhatsApp. If I see that it's good enough for us to kind of put it in the repository, I'll let you know on the WhatsApp itself. Otherwise, if we need to do a call, we'll quickly do a call, and we'll fix whatever we need to fix. And once this is done, then you go ahead and push this, basically copy paste it from your Jupyter notebook into your Python file. And which Python file you have to do that in? Most of the code would go into this Python module over here, which says EDA April 20. Okay. So this is like Aviroop did this on 12th April, and he's commented it, and sorry, he's put a doc string over here, and within the doc string, okay, so if there is no Jira reference, it doesn't matter. You can refer the issue on GitHub. So you just give a reference of that. You put your name over here saying on this date this was done. Whatever other things that you need to put in there, and that's about it. So this method's a very simple method. There is nothing to it. So he shared the Jupyter notebook with me. I saw it. I said, okay, it's absolutely okay. You go ahead and push it. He's gone and put it inside this file. So most of the code that all of us will write will end up in this particular file to begin with. Unless, of course, there is some other file that you need to create or you need to do. So I will inform that in the issue itself. So over here in the task which is there, there itself I'll let you know that this is the task. You need to probably put it in that particular file, right? So here is another one. So again, a very simple pandas this thing. So write a Python method to deduplicate rows with identical values in a pandas df. All values in each cell of source row should be exactly same as all values in each cell of target row. Right. So if all the values are same in the source row and the target row, then you deduplicate, in the sense you delete one of them. Otherwise, you don't. Let's say even one value is different in a row, then you don't delete it. You consider it not to be a duplicate row, right? So it's a very simple pandas, max to max 4 or 5 lines method. Again, just as an introductory thing, it's been given to Abhijit because Abhijit's working on many different things. So I just wanted to see if he can, yeah. So, so this is what it is, and similar tasks will be given to you. That is one. Besides this, there are a lot of things which are happening on the NLP side and imaging side and other things. So those I'll discuss on a different call. This is just an introductory call, so I can't really go into all of that right now. So any questions that anyone has, anything that you want to ask me, absolutely anything, please go ahead. And that's all that I had to share with you. Himanshu, so this is exactly what the job is. So in a particular day, you could get almost 5 to 6 different tasks on this, and that is what you need to do. What is the motto of this work? The motto of this work is that we are creating something similar to talent. We are creating a product which is similar to talent. So if you guys haven't seen talent, this is what it is. So we are creating a BI tool which is similar to talent, and that's the motto of this work. No, it's not only Python. So there is Python, there is SQL, there is JavaScript. If you look at this repository, uh, so if you look at this, there's already JavaScript and Python and HTML and everything there, and you can go through most of this code and see for yourself what all is happening. So that is one. The second thing is that on the LinkedIn, the projects that I have listed over there, this is the simplest project. This is the most basic project, which I have listed. One second, give me a second. So I've listed 4 projects here. So this one is digital cognition. This is the most simplest one. Then there is Patent Spike. Patent Spike has got to do a lot of things with the image processing and NLP and other things. So if you want to understand Patent Spike, you need to go to the Slack channel. Okay. And within the Slack channel, there is this particular thing for Patent Spike. Okay. So you can go through all of this and you'll get to understand what all is happening in this project and things like that. Also, within this NLP COE, most of this that is there has got to do with Patent Spike. Okay. Also within the imaging part of it, this is again also got to do everything with Patent Spike. So that's the Patent Spike project. But right now, what is happening with Patent Spike is that I'm still keeping that repository private because I'm working on that myself. I'm not. One second, let me show you. Yeah, so I'm not, sharing these two. These two, I'm still coding the, things over here. Within the group, there are at least 7, 8 people who are working independently on these projects, Patent Spike and Pricing Intelligence. So there it has got to do more with NLP and imaging. So in case you have experience with NLP and imaging, or any of these tasks, then I can discuss with you, and you can start contributing on those projects also. So that is not an issue. Divyansh, I have invited him tomorrow evening for a call, which has got to do with the third project which is listed there, and that is this, which is Python Trader. Okay, this one. So Divyansh, I've already invited. Rest of you who are on this call, I have not invited to that call till now. Yeah. So that is what it is. So this is the motto, and it's not only Python. So it is also JavaScript and a lot of SQL and a lot of HTML front end things are there. So yeah. Any other question? You ask me questions, because if you don't ask me questions, I don't know when next we'll be able to interact this way. And I need to clarify as many questions as I can. What you need to do is you need, yeah.
So I have a question. I cloned the repository and all, made the Conda virtual environment, and I downloaded the pip file requirement.txt. So how do I like now start the core and like see the functionality of the project?
Divyansh, you end up creating those tables like I discussed with you on Postgres or even SQLite. I'm okay with SQLite also if you create them. Once you've created those tables, then the project should work. You shouldn't have any issues, after creating those tables, the project will work on your system. If it doesn't work on your system, then what you need to do is, there are these, and I'll just share that with you 1 second. There's this entire YouTube, this thing which is there. So these are the, I'll put it in the chat. So all of you need to go through these videos. This is the existing product right now. So you go through all of these videos, and whenever you have a question, so once you've seen the videos and you have any kind of question that you have, you can either ask me on Slack, or you can ask me on WhatsApp, or whichever way. You can call me up, absolutely okay. Yeah. So those demo videos is what you need to look at to understand what is happening. Okay. Now comes the machine learning part, or the statistics and data science part, which is there. A lot of code has been done. Lot of things have been done, but I'll be very straightforward with you. I am a very strict person when it comes to things. I don't tolerate people copying code from somewhere or from some medium, this thing, and just pasting it somewhere and saying ki ha. 1 second, let me check. I'm sorry, I sometimes start speaking Hindi. Okay, fortunately today everybody is from North India only on the call. Otherwise, we have a lot of people from South who don't understand Hindi. So yeah, so समटाइम्स क्या हो रहा है कि अगर मैंने किसी को टास्क दे दिया कि आप प्लीज ये फंक्शनैलिटी कोड कर दीजिए या कुछ भी करना है, which is slightly machine learning and this thing, people come back to me very fast कि हाँ ये मैंने कर दिया, कोई कहीं से कोड उठा के उसको वो कर दिया. On our project this thing doesn't work. I'll tell you why. Because this is not something which is you need to create a script and maybe just get one task done and that's about it. That's not how this thing works. This thing is a production system. The data sets that which will come in will be very, very varied. So sometimes data will be in JSON, sometimes it will be SQL this thing table that somebody is connecting to. Sometimes there will be a NoSQL table that somebody is connecting to, a MongoDB or whatever is there. Fine. So there'll be a lot of different things which will happen. So it is not so simple. It is not like that there is a static data set or there is a static this thing in time that you just pick up a CSV file and code something and just maybe put it together. Uh, uh, doesn't happen that way. Yeah. So things are tough. Let me be very straightforward with you. Things are very tough. There is no simple code in our project. So you will understand some of these simple things you can do maybe maybe in a day or two, but the tough things will take time. So at any point in time you think no yaar, I am not able to do this, that's absolutely okay. I don't expect people to do it. I am being very straightforward with you. There are many people who have tried earlier and failed miserably. But I will not put something in the project which is not of a good standard. And 90% of the code that you see has been coded by me. So it is not that I don't understand how things work. So I understand things very well. I might not be very, I'll be very friendly with you. You will see on most of our calls, most of our interactions, we are very informal. We are not a formal organization, obviously. But as far as work is concerned, it has to be very focused and very crystal clear code. We can't be doing things just for the sake of doing things. That is not. So any questions that you have when you come on other calls, you'll get to see what other people are doing. Also, you look at this. There's another playlist which is here. One second. Yeah. So this is another one that all of you need to look at. You go through most of the videos. So whatever has happened in the past 3-4 months, you'll be able to make out as to what is happening, what we guys are doing, what kind of discussions are happening. So most of those things are there. And now anybody has any other questions for me, you please ask me. Absolutely any question. I'm in no hurry. Okay, Devesh. See, for image processing, the major task is comparison of these images, which is again, I'll share that with you. If you go here to the yeah, this one only, the computer vision one. So I think I would have added most of you here. You'll get to see right from when we started doing this, what kind of things we've been working on. So it's basically logos of companies that we need to compare as part of our patent spike. This thing. Some people have just put some spam. So this is just spam. This is not no. Okay, this one I had put, but above that there is some which is not necessarily this thing. So so it's the logo similarity task. Okay, so it is basically the logo similarity task. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to extract the similarity out of particular images. Now those images data set is also there. So and it's just a restricted data set of about 500 images. On that itself, there is some work which has been done. So that code is there with me. In case anybody is interested, I can share that with you. But as of now, that logo image thing is more of a research interest, because nobody has been able to come up with a good solution. So I have kind of held it back for now. Again, we might start off very soon on that. But right now, as of maybe today and maybe another week or so, that is not something we are focusing on right now. We are focusing more on the NLP task. We are focusing more on the digital cognition part of it. 2-3 weeks down the line, yes, again we will focus back on that. But there is some reason for which I'm holding on to it. I'm not really doing much there right now. Anything else? I have another call coming up at 7 o'clock. So you have 20 more minutes. Absolutely anything we can discuss. I'm free for next 20 minutes. See, I don't know if any one of you has used Talend or has used Tableau. Uh, Talend and Tableau are the target platforms for us. So there is a lot of work. There is so much work that and a very high quality work that most of you can spend a lot of time on it. But depending on how much time you want to spend. So we don't necessarily force anybody to spend time or do whatever. So I'll share all of that tasks with you. Whenever you get to understand what a task is, great, you can start working on it. If you can't understand what the task is, you come back to me, you ask me what it is. You share the initial code with me on Jupyter Notebook. I let you know if that is good enough. The moment it is good enough, you push it into the GitHub repo. This call was more of a orientation call so that you can understand the flow of work. The projects, most of the detail is there on Slack. So when you go through Slack, if you think there is some questions that you have, you post them on Slack itself, or you can post them on WhatsApp also. Absolutely okay, whichever way you want to do that. And you keep on asking me questions. The more questions you will ask, the more you will understand how the projects work and what needs to be done in the projects. And then you can think. It's not just the code that you're doing. You can think from a feature perspective that this is a feature that I'm developing for this particular project, right? I don't want you to think just from a method or a class perspective, but from a feature perspective. So I hope everybody understands what I mean when I'm saying a feature, right? So that is the kind of maturity I want all of you to have. Devesh,
So,
yeah.
so one doubt. I haven't really used Postgre before and SQL services. Always use Mongo and Firebase. So when you said that we need to add few files in DC-proj, can you? Is it possible for you to give a walkthrough of that?
No. I understood that you've not used Postgres and you've used Mongo. What about the files in DC Proj?
You said no. For starting the project on my local machine, we need to add something in DC-proj.
No, you don't need to add anything. So you just install Postgres. See, you'll have to install Postgres on your system, and you'll have to create a DB which is similar to our existing schema. Once
Okay.
that is done, then only we can go ahead. Everybody will have to do that because
Mm.
I tried a couple of things yesterday with somebody who's working on a Windows system on SQLite and things like that. That will not work in the long term. So no point. We can take time. We can take 2-3 days also to get you to that stage. That is okay. That doesn't necessarily stop you from working on the tasks, right? So you parallelly start working on the task. Parallelly, I'll help you install your Postgres and create a schema which is similar to what I've got. So we need to have exactly the same development architecture or structure, so to say, the way I have it on my system. So yeah.
Yes, sir. So, but in requirement.txt, Postgre and SQL database, it's not mentioned.
Postgres can't be mentioned in requirements.txt.
Okay.
Requirements.txt is usually only for these
Yeah.
Python packages and all. Postgres is a DB. You'll have to Postgres on this thing is very simple to install. Give me 1 second. On Ubuntu is the simplest thing to do. There is the DigitalOcean has got some wonderful this thing. So yeah. So just follow this. This is the simplest this thing. Okay, this is for everyone. So all of you will have to do this. But you, when you get stuck, you can reach out to me. You can text me on WhatsApp, or you can put something in Slack. But everybody has to do this. Kartike, sorry. Okay, Kartike, who am I? I'm Rohit. I think I had a discussion with you earlier on the call. And what's your major purpose of doing this? So we are creating a product. We are working on 5, 6 different products. That is what we're doing. Is it a startup building products? I don't know what does that mean. So we are a bunch of people who are working together. That does not necessarily make us a startup. I'll tell you when a startup is, what is defined as a startup is people sitting together in one location and having some kind of funding and salaries and stipends and all going around. I did that last year. I spent a lot of money from my pocket for things which I thought people would do. But mostly what I got was fake profiles. People came up to me and said, "This is what I can do. That is what I can do." After 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and me paying from my own pocket, those things didn't happen. So it's not a startup. Do I answer your question, Kartike?
Yes, sir, a bit. Yeah.
No, don't say a bit. Don't be in doubt. You ask me whatever you want to right now. I don't want to be in any kind of, I don't want to have any kind of doubts in anybody's mind. We have to be as transparent and as open as possible. Okay. Otherwise, we can't work together. It's as simple as that. Rest of the guys who are in the team, I've already clarified absolutely every kind of question, absolutely every kind of this thing I've clarified. So you guys have just recently joined, so you need to understand these things. Okay. Uh, uh, Sorry, Divyansh, I think we both were discussing something and then suddenly I saw Kartike's chat.
Yes, sir. So I've downloaded Postgres, and do I need to make a new role or a new database? Like,
A new role also, new database also. So in that itself, it is there. Uh, I think they
I
put
see db.sqlite3 folder in the project.
SQLite we won't use. We won't use it for anything. Yeah. So this is, create your user and create the DB. So which DB are you creating? Which user you are creating? You are getting that from your settings.py, right?
Oh, okay.
So this is the name of the DB. This is the name of the user, and this is the password. And because yesterday I was trying something with SQLite which is not okay, so we won't do that. So what we'll do is we will create this, and probably tonight itself I'll just make this as the default DB. We'll keep Postgres as the default DB. Going ahead, we'll have Mongo, we'll have MySQL also. Those we'll route through something else. So yeah, I already created an issue on that yesterday. So in case anybody is interested, you can see that. That is what we'll do. The database schema, there are two things to it. One is that there is the system DB which is running. By system DB, I mean one second. The system DB is basically what is being run as part of the internal DB for this project to run. Okay, so this project will have certain tables dedicated only for this project. So most of them will remain on Postgres. But let's say there's a user who wants a MySQL DB or a MongoDB or absolutely anything else that we can incorporate going ahead. Then they should be able to create a connection to that immediately and start using it. So that will be part of our infrastructure. So even when we are doing this in development, or let's say we go to production tomorrow to test things, we will have to create that entire environment. So only our project and the applications will be using the Postgres as a DB. The user will get different options: MySQL, Postgres, Mongo, various things. Divyansh, anything else?
No, sir. So I'll try to make the DB with the settings, and I'll let you know.
Huh. So I also will have some this thing, that create table and all those commands which will be lying around. I'll try and post them in some file over there. I'll put them in a file over there, saying that that's what can be used immediately to kind of create the same structure. And once that is done, once we run the migrations for Django, so Django basically follows a simple process of creating the models, and then creating the DB, through the models, so to say. So some of them will get created by default. Rest of them are not necessarily required, but yes, to understand the functionality, and I'll do a very detailed call one of these days. There are a lot of other people who are supposed to be on that call, so not just all of you who are here. So there I will explain the functionality. What happens in our project is that you upload a CSV file, and that CSV file structure itself gets replicated into the PSQL. That's supposed to be a functionality for end user to use it. But what I do is I use it as a hack to create whatever DBs that are required. So I don't necessarily go in write SQL. I just take a simple CSV file and just go ahead and upload that. So it just takes a second to do that, and you have your structure created in PSQL. So that is one thing that's already there in the system. Please, Kartike and Lavish and Raghav, any questions which are coming to your mind? Vansh, anything that is that you, Vansh and me had a couple of discussions earlier also, so probably maybe I've just already spoken with him a couple of times. Akash, I've spoken with a couple of times. Devesh, Himanshu. Okay. And so there's around 40-50 tasks which are immediately which I can allocate to all of you. Anybody who's not comfortable with pandas or not comfortable with Python, the two things I need to understand. Besides that, if there is some challenge, I can help you. But these two things at least you should be okay. Anybody who's not okay with pandas or Python in general, I think everybody is okay with that, right? Perfect. Okay. Now, I need to understand one thing. Let's say that you start participating on the machine learning part of it. So what do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on imaging or do you want to focus on NLP? So there are two major this thing. Then, of course, there is time series analysis. Then there is, all kinds of machine learning algos and statistical modeling is required in the project. So that I will share in next one or two calls. Okay, so Devesh is on imaging. I'll just make a note of this. This is very important for me because accordingly I need to give you those tasks also. Devesh is imaging. One second, I'll just take a screenshot of the chat maybe, so that way it will be much better. Raghav is also imaging. Okay. What about the others? If you can let me know right now, or if you're okay with both, I'm okay with Himanshu. That is okay. You don't worry about revision and all. We will make you revise. We do things in that manner. You will be able to revise. Don't have to worry. Karthike is NLP. Okay. Okay, but you are okay with okay. Divyansh is on both. Okay. Perfectly fine. I'll just take a screenshot of this. Perfect. So that's okay. So I see when I send out invites, I send out invites for meetings and calls to absolutely everybody. So even if you are working on imaging, you will get invites for NLP related tasks and time series and other things. So you join that. It is okay. It is not required that you work on it, but at least from a knowledge point of view and to understand what is happening in the project, you join those calls. Perfect, perfect, great. Anything else? Okay. So if nothing else, we'll end the call. And I hope one thing everybody is clear on: there is no office in the future. Also, I don't know when there will be office or no office. There is no stipend. You need to get in touch with me. You get in touch with me on LinkedIn, on my phone, in Slack. Uh, so these things you need to be clear on. Fine. So I don't want to leave these doubts in your mind. Besides that, whatever is there, we can discuss. Absolutely no problem. Perfect, perfect. And also one more thing, in case any of your friends are interested in joining the group, they can join the group. We have so much work that even 40, 50 of us who work on it, it doesn't get done that easily. So absolutely anybody who wants to join, you make them understand that this is how things are and this is how we work. And it's a very open system. So you can give me a reference, I'll speak with them. I don't have a problem doing that, right? So because what I've observed, and I've been observing this for many years now, that people work best with friends whom they already know. Like if I were to ask Akash right now, Akash Goyal is here, and if I immediately put him in a team with say Kartike or Lavish, it will take a few days for Akash to get to know them and things like that. So, but Akash will work very well with Aman, right? Akash, I'm saying the right thing. Yep. So yeah, maybe he couldn't hear that. So it's always good to have a couple of friends with a reference, so that you can create a team along with them. Yeah. So Akash is saying, yeah, right. I'm very much open to that. Okay. But unfortunately, and this happened with me and Lavish, and this happened earlier also. Unfortunately, I am not okay right now because we don't have an office and we work at odd hours, and most of our interactions are not so structured and all that. I unfortunately can't allow ladies to join the group right now. So that is one very clear thing I've communicated to everyone. So that is very clear. But we might change that situation in the future. If we have an office, we have a proper structure, we can give them a good working space to work from, then of course we will change that going forward. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much. So if the call is I have another one at 7 o'clock. Thank you so much. Any other questions anybody has, you discuss with me offline or put it in Slack. The best places, put the question in Slack. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Deepak, I'm sorry, yaar, I was on. Deepak, can you hear me? Hello, Deepak. Hi, Deepak, you can hear me? Hello, Deepak.